Well, I've been promising y'all a video of my craft room now that I have it kind of all set up. My oldest daughter moved out of the house into an apartment, so we were shifting rooms around, and this is now my happy place, my creative space. And I just cleaned it up because a friend's coming over this afternoon, so it's a perfect chance to film. So here it is. As you walk in this wall on the left, I have this bench that has an area that you can lift up and store things in. So that's where I have quite a few of my stamps. The Stampin' Up! Stamps in the boxes I've labeled. And then the stamps that I store in DVD or CD cases, I have labeled. One of the boxes has ones that are just images, and this section over here is ones that have sentiments or letters, and the other side of the bench has some Stampin' Up! Stamps in the front, and then some of the taller ones I just kind of have stacked in the back there. So when they're not in use, they're kind of covered up, which is kind of nice. This may look familiar to you who've seen an earlier video. This is the box that contains my scraps, and it's here kind of stacked on some other little cubes that are used for storage. I think the bottom one actually has some of our winter gloves and scarves that we really only use for like a week in the winter, so I don't get into that. The one in the middle has some Tim Holtz items that I purchased. They were really cheap, so I kind of stocked up on those. And then this top container has my scraps that are organized by color. This one just has my cardstock scraps. I separated those from the pattern paper scraps because I found that I was normally wanting to just look for solid cardstock scraps, and each has a folder like these are. This folder has all the red and pink scraps, and then behind that the orange and yellow, green. So that's where all my cardstock scraps are, and when they're not in use I can just fold that up. And this little 6 cube holder I got, it was a display thing at Michael's and they had marked it down, so I have some of those baskets. I think some of those, the 3 baskets on the left and the one on the right, are some of those cheap ones from IKEA. In this top one here I have a lot of my letter stickers just kind of put in there. In this one here on the right I have my seam binding and some just loose petals that I spritz, and then there's my collection of Glimmer Mist, and then a few of the Lindy Stamp stamps. So I have kind of those all together. Within reach, I have no idea what's in here. Oh, these are some boxes and configuration boxes that can be altered. And down here are some different rub-ons and things. Down here is how I'm storing my embossing folders and nestability dies. And then my cutting plates for my Cuttlebug are all stored there. Down here, those are just some cards. This armoire, let's see if I can back up a little bit. Oh, back up. This armoire, the bottom 2 drawers still have stuff because this used to be used by my oldest daughter, so that still has her stuff in it. But on the inside I have some of my seasonal things I keep together, like those 4 boxes there have all of my Christmas papers and most of my embellishments, and then above that is a little box that has a lot of Christmas stamps in it. The boxes on the left, one of them contains the brightly colored papers and stamps and embellishments that I like to use on birthday cards, so that when I do birthday cards I can just take that container out and everything's in there. And then I keep just assorted things in there, my cinch and some other things, so that's interesting. Now some of these containers may or may not contain candy. There's a cute little birdhouse that Gail Meyer, the Happy Stamper, made for me. And let's see, these suitcase containers, I think some of them contain stuff. I think originally I got them to use as storage, but I haven't really utilized those yet. So right now they're mostly decorative. And on top of this 6-cube container are some of these nested book storage pieces from Michaels. I think the bottom one, no, I do have some tags in the middle one, and the bottom one contains my stuff for the Martha Stewart Crafter's Clay, which I don't use too much. Now here's, and on my window I did some of those spring tension curtain rods and hung up almost all of my ribbon. Again, you can't tell because the light's behind it, but it's pretty much a rainbow color order. It goes from pinks, greens, blues, purples, and then into the browns and blacks and whites. And that's pretty much most of my ribbon. I may have a few that aren't on there, but it's nice to have them all kind of handy. And then to make my main work desk area, I put back to back this computer desk that was in my daughter's office. And again, the cabinets on the left and the right contain items of hers that she still wanted to keep at the house. So because those aren't really usable to me, I put this piece of furniture as close to the window as I could to allow access into those if she needs anything from there. And so on that section, I have my basic bag that I take back and forth to Michael's all the time that kind of contains most of my basic supplies. And then next to that, I have a little bag that contains all of my adhesives, because I like to have those handy. And that just has pencils and extra scissors and stuff. My OttLite, that comes in handy. That's my ink holder that contains a big batch of Stampin' Up! Inks that I found from a lady on Craigslist that was selling her stuff. Behind that, I have my Cricut, so I've got that handy. And behind, on this computer desk area behind it, on the floor, I have my Cricut cartridges and some of those art bins that are made for the cartridges. And I have them in 2 right now, but I'm fixing to need to go to 3. So those are stored for easy access to my Cricut. And I've put together some of these Jetmax cubes from Michaels for this side of the desk. Don't really have all the drawers filled yet. I think that one just has my hole punch right now. This one has some chipboard items and tags and other envelopes. This one has a kit from, I think, yeah, it's from Laura Dennison from Following the Paper Trail. I need to find a better place for that. And then down here I have my storage for some of my decorative elements. These are items that I use sometimes for flower centers, and then some of my kind of jeweled brads that I like to have handy. Behind there, I have a couple of more containers. There's some American Crafts glitter tape, but so still have room to grow there. And then on these other shelves, I have some of my adhesive bling, kind of sorted by color, sort of. Starting with the reds in the middle, and I like to have them so I can kind of flip through them quickly. And then in this other one, I have the whites and blacks and just the silvery bling. And this one here, I keep the adhesive swirl type blings, and this container here has all of the different Recollections glitter tapes that are really cool. So I keep those stored together in one of those down here, so it's handy. The Martha Stewart scoring board. Fits nicely here on its side. Here's a container that has more, just an assortment of different brads. So those are handy. And then underneath, I usually don't sit. Sometimes I'll sit, so I have that chair there. But underneath, I have my notebooks that contain my work papers and things for the Michaels classes that I teach. And this is kind of cool. This is how I keep my Distress ink stored. It's one of those art bin cases, so you just slide the little slide things open. And I have the Distress inks. I don't have them all, but I have quite a few. I have them stored here, and what I did was I inked up just regular address labels and trimmed them down and adhered it to the side. I would rather, when I'm looking for an ink color, I would rather not have to read the name on the side. Some people like to label them with a name, but I just want to see the color. So I adhered the label down onto the craft sheet and then, you know, applied the ink to it. And then also, because I only wanted to purchase one applicator tool, I have my sponges adhered to the back with just Velcro. And that way, when I'm done with each color's foam pad, I can just adhere it back on and slip it back in the case. I did also purchase the Picket Fence Distress Stain, which I can just keep in the side here. And then this past weekend at the CKC show that was in San Marcos, I got some of the metallic distress stains. They come in 3 colors. And then I have the mini misters here that always come in handy when you're working with the distress inks. And it fits just perfectly here. Oh, note to self, you know, Tim says to adhere this Velcro piece onto the block with a staple gun to keep it secured on there, because the adhesive just doesn't stay very well. Be careful when you're doing this, because when I did it, I actually put a staple into my palm right there below my ring, and my doctor thought it was hilarious. I had to go see him actually to get not only a tetanus shot, but also, what did he give me? An antibiotic shot, because one of the tines of the staples got stuck in my bone. So just be careful when you're using power tools. I don't use them very often, and now you know why. So anyway, I think it's a really handy way to keep the distress inks. And I know we don't need to store them. Tim's told us that we don't need to store them upside down, but I just feel better storing them upside down. But we don't have to. But because of the resin that they're made from, you don't have to. And down here on the right side of the cubby hole, kind of where the underside of the desk, is some assorted cards and some other buckets and things that can be altered. On the far right of my desk, I have the surge protector where I keep some of the cords stuck in, and then I have this cool display that my friend Leslie Bockenstedt made for me, another YouTube friend. I think her YouTube channel is BOKNSTET. She's a crafty friend of mine from Oklahoma, so you should check out her channel. So that's it for the main work area.